Well, what do you think? Look at this one, fellas. Look at this. I'm going to go to spot colour on this. Let's just drain through. Look at the. I've seen soil that looks like that. You know what I reckon? I reckon some people are just putting this stuff in the pot, then it drain through, and not even flushing the universal disinfectant through the soil, and just putting their plants in there. I reckon that's what's going on, fellas. And the other thing I've learnt is don't try and level the bucket. Don't level the bucket because you will get some sand coming out of it. Level the brick. So I've actually put a stick in there to actually level the brick, which the bucket of course is sitting on, so the bucket is now level, nearest damn it anyway. And I'm just waiting on this one to get to that sort of stage over there. I might leave that one as a control and not flush it. I might try and grow something in there and see if it wilts or not. Might get a bloody surprise, because just the look. I've seen soil like that. I'm sure I've seen soil looking like that over at Donny's place. So either he's using a really good surfactant that's as good as the universal surfactant, or something else is going on. I wouldn't be surprised. There's a lot of bells and whistles people have been using over the years and not being letting on. I'm just wondering. I found out what the smell was. It was from here. It's from this egg thing I made up. Was it last year or the year before, sort of thing? So you can turn eggs into fish, apparently. Yeah. So yeah, a lot of stuff been going on over the years. I reckon that people haven't been letting on things they're doing, standard practice. And if they told the other people, well, you know, we could get a leg up, sort of thing. But I don't know, fellas. In two minds about this zinc thing. Be nice to try and work out what it does. I'm just wondering whether zinc oxide is really not. You shouldn't consider it as an oxide. In other words, the oxygen is so tightly bound. It's a bit like iron oxide in a way. It's so tightly bound that you can just dismiss that there's any oxygen there. It's so tightly bound, nothing can really tear it apart. So basically, you're just adding a form of zinc in a way. So it can act like a cofactor or something in a way. Some sort of semi-cofactor involved, you know. The microbes can sort of brush up against it and make use of it in that fashion, sort of thing. I don't know whether it enhances the growth of some other, keeps the organism in the red state, because when you add the zinc sulfate, you can get greening at the top. So I don't think it's actually, so maybe it's something to do with sulfur as well. But anyway, all I do know is when you use paraffin wax, you won't get any H2S smell whatsoever. So it's almost like using aluminium in the soil, alum in the soil or something. You can use either one and you'll get the same effect basically. But at least this is a food source for mycorrhizas, and if you've got peat there, it should grow the yellow, white to yellow Generica australis, which can ensheath the roots and also can sheathe the candle as though it's acting like a dorsiform root or carrot-like root sort of thing. So yeah, anyway. But these are amazing. Have you seen the colour on some of these ones? I mean, it's insane. So is it just making use of all the nutrients that are already in the plant and just redirecting them? Or, I beg the question, where's the nitrogen coming from for growth? If it's in sand and paraffin candle wax, something amazing I would think is going on. And if this greens over the next week, I mean, the rate it's going now, it's like already basically all about 3 weeks down the track by the looks of it, even though it's been only there a week. So basically, and I've also found some greening here too, on this one here, greening on there. So does that mean there's greening underneath? Also getting seedlings starting to germinate now. So, so is that green? Could that be turned pink if we knew what was going on? And if it turns pink, does it make the plants work harder, or should I say, the organism works harder for the plant if it's in the magenta-y stage before it goes to the red, and then before it goes to the green, and then it can go from the green into that sort of sickly yellow looking. Oh yes, this is the other thing down here on the side walls. See that sort of malachite green now? Is that just because the green is drying out on the thing, or we got evidence of trichoderma? Or is that what happens inside the plant? Maybe this organism goes inside the plant, and as the plant gets under desiccated conditions, it goes to this sort of colour. Tomorrow I'll probably want to talk about desiccation and the fly trap. That would be very interesting too. Anyway, okay.